What is going on, guys? BioShock's here today to talk to you about a manga I just recently finished reading and completed.
Another one.
This series has not only been requested to me by several friends, but I've seen a lot of hype on it, especially through TikTok.
What about that shadowy place?
That's beyond our borders. You must never go there.
I tried watching the anime, I think last year. I got several episodes into it and I just couldn't finish it because I don't know what it was. I just wasn't feeling it. Granted, there's only 2 seasons out of it so far. There's nothing wrong with the anime in general. The anime is actually very good. I like the style of it a lot. There's just something about it I couldn't get into it. It's by the same mangaka who made Soul Eater, which is Atsushi Okubo. If you've never read or watched Soul Eater, I think you should. I think Soul Eater is a very solid shonen. Obviously, it has its problems, but I think overall, it's actually a very solid shonen, and I think it's pretty cool. And Fire Force is no exception. Now, this is going to be a sort of a spoiler-free video, because if you are interested in Fire Force, and you've been looking up to see if you should get into it, or if it's worth getting into, and you've come across this video, I kind of don't want to spoil it for you. The only thing I'm really going to talk about today is honestly my thoughts on the plot and certain characters of the show. Now, I've read the entire manga, which I will tell you right now, if you don't want to sit through 2 seasons of this anime, which I don't see really why you would, I'm probably going to go back and watch it, because there's a lot of fights I want to see animated. And yeah, definitely check out the anime. If you don't read manga and want to watch the anime, from what I've seen so far of the anime, I think it's worth it. Go watch it. If you want to read the manga, yeah, it's a quick read. It's 314 chapters, I believe. It's not really that much. But overall, let's go ahead and talk about Fire Force.
Let's go. Let's go.
Fire Force is set in a very interesting post-apocalyptic world, where apparently 250 years ago, this thing called the Great Cataclysm happened, which pretty much set everything ablaze inside this world. What we're seeing is the remnants from the Great Cataclysm. Our main character is Shinra Usakabe. Shinra as a character, I dig Shinra a lot. I think Shinra is so cool, mainly because his design's cool, and he's very consistent of who he is as a character throughout the whole series, which is good, despite the fact that he keeps saying he's a hero, which it's fine, it doesn't bother me that much. He's at least consistent about it. But he does have, times within the series where he does question himself as a person and as a character, which is obviously good to have for any protagonist of any series or any work of art. So Shinra does go through struggles like that, and it makes him look at things in a different way, from a different angle. So that's great. He goes through a lot of character developing moments. Overall, his design, I like Shinra's design. It's very simple. It's very clean. So Shinra, I am a big fan of, especially later on in the series. His story near the end, when it's exposed to who he is, as in what his true fate really is, and his backstory behind his family and his mother. Copyright. All I'm going to say is a certain book that's been around forever has a very plain cover with only a few words, and they're usually in gold. It has no real one specific author, but overall as a character, Shinra was pretty cool. I like Shinra a lot. His journey throughout overall of the series was pretty fun to watch. Obi, which is the captain of House 8 of Fire Force. Great leader. Liked him a lot. He kind of reminded me a lot of Robo Noah Zoro. In an aspect, him and Yami combined. That might also be because in the anime, the sub, he's actually voiced by the same guy who does Zoro, which,
Hinawa,
it kind of affected me going into the manga, because every time I seen him I thought Zoro. So that's probably why I get that feeling from him, but he's a good leader, he's a good character. Hinawa, which is I believe the lieutenant of House 8. He's very interesting. I don't care for him very much. I find him to be very boring because he has the same facial expression throughout most of the series, no matter what his emotional state or what he's talking about. Really, it doesn't really change the facial expression. So it's kind of hard to grow an attachment to a character like that. His ability overall, though, as a second-generational pyro fighter, it's actually pretty cool. Maki was a really good, strong female character. Probably one of the most decent ones I've read as of late. At least if I'm comparing her to, like, the most recent one, which would be Nobara, in my case. I think Nobara, she's best girl.
I will fight you.
Nobara is best girl.
Yes, sir.
Maki's pretty good, though, too. Arthur is my boy. Arthur is my boy. He is a Night King. Don't disrespect my boy Arthur.
And y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
He's here to slay dragons and get booty.
I came looking for man's butt. I'm a warrior.
Arthur's a great character. I love Arthur's power. I love how he gets stronger. It's so gaggy, but at the same time, it's so cool and well thought out. So I really can't complain about it. That's literally what Arthur is since the beginning of the series, and he's kept like that until the end. So it's fine. Arthur's cool. Arthur's my boy. Tamaki is also a female character. She usually deviates between firefighter and sister. It's weird because like sometimes it confuses me because sometimes she'll be fighting in her firefighter outfit. But other times she'll be with Iris and she'll be in her sister outfit. Overall, Tamaki for me. The only thing I'll say, at least for me personally, it might be different for other people that will read the series or watch the series. Tamaki for me was a letdown.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
And Tamaki for me was one of the biggest problems in Fire Force. Really. Just for me, Tamaki, she was like a lot of potential that was just felt kind of squandered. And finally, my favorite character within Fire Force is Victor Licht. I love Victor Licht. His facial expressions, his double motivation. He's pretty much blunt too. Like he doesn't really sugarcoat anything really either. But overall, he's a nice guy. It's just I like Victor. Everything, his character design, everything down to the wire. I love Victor. So in terms of the main cast when it comes to Fire Force, for the most part, with a couple minor exceptions, I dig it very heavy. They all have their own pretty cool designs. I feel like Hinawa and Obi are kind of basic.
Excuse me, bitch!
But their personality makes up for their lack of design. So it's fine. One thing I gotta talk about within itself, the manga, the strongest point of the manga is the way Atsushi does panels. And not specifically normal panels when the fights are happening. The way Atsushi does paneling is freaking gorgeous. And it's honestly one of the best ways I think you can panel fights in manga. It's easy to follow, it's fluid, and it just flows very well. And I haven't seen paneling like that while reading a manga since Dragon Ball. I'll be honest, I think Dragon Ball is some of the best paneling in manga. And I would say Fire Force also has some of the best paneling I've seen.
Yes, sir.
The main art when it comes to character stylization, I do feel Atsushi really has common ground with Hiro Mashima, which is the creator of Fairy Tail and Brave Master. I feel like their character designs are oddly similar to some degree. The way both of them do design characters is very clean looking. So I really have no complaints there. But a lot of the background art that Atsushi does do, when he does want to draw something in fine detail in a huge spread, it is gorgeous and it can look amazing. Then again, it's the same thing with Hiramashima. When Hiramashima wants to draw something beautiful, he can do it.
Very nice.
But I will say a lot of things in Fire Force, it does have a lot of strengths, which I do appreciate. World building actually is a very good strength it has. It is a very good strength. The further you get into the series and the more you find out about their world and the history of this great cataclysm and the villains and everything that's been set up and how everything they've been taught within their own system actually helps the villains the entire time. It's crazy, dude.
That is crazy.
So overall, Fire Force, man, after reading all through it, if I ever get the chance, I probably will collect the manga. So overall, Fire Force as a whole, when it comes to the manga, my overall thoughts. I feel the pacing of Fire Force, for the most part, is fairly well done. There are some parts that slog a little bit, but for the most part, it's fairly well paced. I think 314 chapters was a perfect way to end it. Perfect size to get all the answers we want answered. The ending of Fire Force itself.
I mean, it's alright, like,
When it comes to Shinra's power-up,
overrated as fuck, in my opinion.
it does feel
I mean,
like a major plot convenience. Because the way Shinra explains it off the cuff is so weird.
I guess we'll never know.
But the end result is a power scaler's wet dream. I will say that.
I'm gonna come.
Once again, the fights, for the most part, reading-wise, are phenomenal. I can't wait to go back and watch some of these fights animated. The majority of the characters, I do like the vast majority of the characters in the series. The one thing I will say is, like I said about Tamaki, Tamaki was the most disappointing to me. Because mainly, and I've heard this is a problem for a lot of Fire Force fans, and it applies to me as well, a newly born Fire Force fan. Tamaki's Lucky Leecher lore is very annoying.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
The gag chapters with her versus Assault were very annoying. They felt like filler, even though near the end when Assault does come back to fight his doppelganger, they proved not to be. But overall, I enjoyed Fire Force reading it. Thought it was a very solid series. I think seeing Shinra near the end grown up and being the leader of the current foundation that took over the world was pretty cool. Seeing him age and as an adult was awesome. But overall, Fire Force as a whole, I would rate Fire Force as a whole, I would give it a rating of give it anywhere between a B and a B plus. It just depends on, I guess, my mood at the time. I think I could give it a B plus due to the fights, the paneling, and the ending fight, which is crazy. I think I could give it based on that, but also I think I could give it a B based on the ending of the fight and how Shinra gained his power up, and also characterization for Tamaki, the lack of characterization I think for Hinawa. I don't find Hinawa interesting, along with the other characters that I feel like were just waste of space. Hyped up near the beginning, and then just waste and just kind of irrelevant near the end. I feel like you just struggle with that sometimes. So I think either way would be appropriate. I will put it at a B for now. I think it's a good series. I think it's a good solid series. I think it's above average. Other than that, that's what I feel about Fire Force, and that's it. I'm done. Yeah, overall, let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. As always, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to join the notification squad. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.